Ever wondered why some quarterbacks spike the ball, rip their jersey open like Superman, or belt out imaginary championship belts? Today, we're breaking down every QB touchdown celebration you love in just 20 minutes. Now, let's charge straight into the breakdown of these celebrations. Number 20, Tom Brady's intense spike. One of the most iconic yet straightforward celebrations in NFL history is the Tom Brady spike. Often described by ESPN, Brady's signature move is a massive overhand throw of the ball straight into the turf. Simple? Absolutely. But it's become a staple of the future Hall of Famers' repertoire. Brady's spike dates back to his early days with the New England Patriots. Though he wasn't known for flashy displays, the spike offered a quick burst of energy, both as a personal outburst of excitement and a way to fire up his teammates. His first NFL touchdown pass came in 2001, and while the early celebrations were muted, the exaggerated spike soon followed. It symbolized a no-nonsense, business-like approach. Score, celebrate quickly, then get back to work. In the 2014 divisional round against the Baltimore Ravens, Brady's spike after a quarterback sneak became an instant highlight reel moment. The emotional outpouring signaled both relief and dominance, galvanizing the crowd at Gillette Stadium. Brady's version of the spike, thrown low and hard, often bouncing back with ferocious spin, shows that even the simplest celebrations can become legendary. Teammates and coaches have joked that Brady's spike is his only real dance move. And according to numerous sideline interviews, it's also a safe way for the quarterback to channel that fiery spirit without risking a penalty. You'll see that at times, Brady's spike draws just as many roars from the crowd as a choreographed dance might. Number 19, Brett Favre's running fist pump. Brett Favre might as well have had "kid in a candy store" stamped on his helmet. The Green Bay legend was never shy about celebrating a touchdown. His trademark move, sprinting full speed downfield, waving a clenched fist overhead, and meeting teammates in the end zone. Favre's enthusiasm, as documented by NFL films, remains a lasting example of raw joy in the sport. When Favre arrived in Green Bay in 1992, he quickly earned a reputation for his gunslinger style, and that extended to his celebrations. He would tear off toward the end zone, pumping his fist, or sometimes even jumping into the arms of a receiver. This was a far cry from more subdued quarterbacks of earlier eras, and fans were captivated by his unfiltered reactions. Favre's knack for dramatic finishes led to numerous highlight reels. One of the best-known examples came during a Monday Night Football game in 2003. After connecting on a touchdown, Favre sprinted 30 yards, fist held high, to hug his receiver. This was a moment that showcased his childlike passion for the game, something fans still remember. Favre once joked his leg had more yardage running in celebrations than on actual rushing attempts. It's an exaggeration, of course, but it underscores how integral that high-octane dash became to his legend. Before we move on to the next one in the list, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you're enjoying this content so far, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. Thanks to all of you who do. Number 18, Russell Wilson's gratitude point. Quiet, but unmistakable, Russell Wilson's go-to move after a touchdown is a quick point skyward, often followed by a short prayer. It might not scream dance party, but the Seattle Seahawks star, now with the Denver Broncos, made it a personal ritual that fans came to associate with humility and faith. Wilson has been open about his faith throughout his career. Post-touchdown, you'll often see him tap his chest and point upwards, a sign of thanks. Far from being boastful, it's Wilson's way of celebrating team success while acknowledging his personal beliefs. This subdued celebration resonates strongly with many fans, particularly those who admire Wilson's calm, collected demeanor under pressure. The gesture stands out because it contrasts with the more flamboyant celebrations popular in today's NFL. It's a moment of reflection amid the chaos. Wilson's routine is so consistent that ESPN SportsCenter compiled a montage of every instance he's done it. The segment highlighted just how often Wilson found the end zone and how unwavering he was in that point-to-the-sky salute. Number 17, Johnny Manzel, the money sign. Johnny Manziel burst into the NFL spotlight with the Cleveland Browns, bringing along the notorious money sign from his high-profile days at Texas A&M. The gesture involved pressing his thumbs to his index fingers, fluttering the remaining 3 fingers up and down as though he were rubbing cash together. The meaning was obvious. I'm money. Manzel's bold persona made the celebration polarizing. According to Sports Illustrated, he started using it in college after fans began chanting Johnny Football, and he noticed it fired people up. Once he hit the NFL, the money sign became both a calling card and, for critics, a symbol of overconfidence. Even though Manzel's pro career didn't live up to the hype, his celebration remains memorable. When you see anyone flash that gesture in a football context, it's an instant callback to the swagger, the hype, and the flamboyance that Johnny Manziel brought to the field. Number 16, Lamar Jackson's big trust gesture. Lamar Jackson took the NFL by storm with his explosive style, and his touchdown celebrations followed suit. The phrase, big trust, shorthand for big trust, became the Baltimore Ravens mantra during Jackson's MVP campaign. The term originated in the Ravens locker room, but it was Jackson and teammate Mark Ingram who propelled it into the public consciousness. Jackson's big trust gesture, locking his hands together or occasionally forming a T, symbolized the unity and trust among the team. During a blowout win in 2019, Jackson rushed for a highlight reel touchdown, then flashed the big trust sign while the home crowd went wild. Ravens merchandise featuring big trust sold out in local stores shortly after, marking how quickly a phrase can become a cultural phenomenon. In that 2019 MVP season, Jackson accounted for 43 total touchdowns, 36 passing, 7 rushing. Nearly everyone featured some variant of the big trust, illustrating his unwavering confidence in both himself and his teammates. As ESPN analysts often note, it's not just a celebration, it's a rallying cry. Number 15, Baker Mayfield's swagger run. Baker Mayfield is known for his outspoken nature, so it's no shock that his touchdown celebrations carry a bit of flair. He may not have a single signature routine, but one recurring theme stands out: an unapologetic sprint or trot across the end zone while pumping both arms. Pure swagger. At the University of Oklahoma, Mayfield famously planted the Sooners flag on Ohio State's midfield logo after a big win. While the NFL would never allow that level of dramatics post-touchdown, the swagger remained. Interviews confirm he brought that same fire to the pros. In a 2020 game against the Cincinnati Bengals, Mayfield threw a last-second touchdown. Immediately, he jogged around the end zone, pointing to his chest and nodding emphatically, as if to say, "That's what I do." It was a short, brash statement that aligned perfectly with Mayfield's image. Fans of Mayfield adore his electric energy and see it as confidence. Critics label it arrogance. Whatever your perspective, there's no denying Mayfield's celebrations turn heads, driving headlines on ESPN and sports talk shows nationwide. His approach might vary, but it's always a testament to his fiery persona. Number 14, Pton Manning's surprise embrace. Peyton Manning famously approached the game with a cerebral focus. He wasn't the type for choreographed dances, yet when the moment was big enough, he'd celebrate in his own comedic, almost awkward way, often with a wide-eyed smile and a genuine bear hug for whoever scored alongside him. Sports Illustrated once joked that Manning's celebrations had all the finesse of a dad discovering TikTok, but that's precisely what made them endearing. Manning believed in getting the job done and then immediately planning the next drive. So if he unleashed a grin or a quick fist pump, you knew the stakes were high. In the 2006 AFC Championship game, when Manning led the Indianapolis Colts in a historic comeback against the Patriots, his post-touchdown celebrations were raw. After sealing the win, he embraced center Jeff Saturday with a rare outward emotion. The typically stoic QB's exuberance revealed just how much the victory meant. According to a 2016 ESPN interview, teammates always tried to coax Manning into more extravagant celebrations, but he preferred self-restraint. His logic: keep your head down, keep it classy, and save the big moment for the final whistle. The man known as the Sheriff stuck to a code until the scoreboard said otherwise. Number 13, Dak Prescott's hip twist and flex. Dak Prescott may share the Dallas Cowboys spotlight with Ezekiel Elliott's "feed me" gesture, but Dak's own celebration repertoire includes a hip twist that traces back to his pre-game warm-ups. This footwork exercise, designed for mobility and core strength, has turned into an occasional post-touchdown flourish. Clips online show Prescott going through a hip activation drill before every game, pivoting his hips in a rhythmic motion. When he started using a similar twist in the end zone, fans and the media took note. It became a mini sensation with memes popping up across social media. Prescott first busted out the celebratory twist during a 2019 Thanksgiving Day game. After running for a touchdown, he performed a subtle version of his warm-up move, causing Fox commentators to point out how rarely QBs celebrate with a dance. Since then, he's repeated variations of it whenever the mood strikes. While not as iconic as some other QB celebrations, Dak's hip twist underscores his emphasis on preparation. As ESPN analysts have noted, this is a guy who turned a routine warm-up drill into an NFL talking point. It's both functional and fun. A perfect reflection of Dak's approach to the game. Number 12, Kirk Cousins, the "you like that" echo. Kirk Cousins might not be the first QB you think of when it comes to celebrations, but he's got a catchphrase that turned into a phenomenon. You like that? It started in 2015 when he led a massive comeback for Washington, screaming the phrase in the tunnel. Since then, fans have latched onto it, chanting it at games and printing it on t-shirts. While Cousins isn't known for elaborate post-touchdown dances, you'll sometimes catch him pounding his chest and shouting, "You like that?" toward the sideline. He even gave a gentle nod to it during his early days in Minnesota, pointing at teammates as if to say, "You all like that." Vikings faithful responded by wearing jerseys and waving signs referencing the phrase, which has become part of his brand. It's a simple, effective way of channeling adrenaline, especially for a quarterback who often flies under the radar, yet consistently produces. Number 11, Jaylen Herzs' calm confidence. Jaylen Herzs, the Philadelphia Eagles phenom, isn't one for over-the-top antics. Instead, he celebrates with a calm poise and an under-the-radar nod or salute to his teammates. But don't let the subtlety fool you. Herzs' celebrations brim with unspoken confidence. Herzs' college journey was widely covered by ESPN, noting his leadership and steady demeanor even in high-pressure situations. That mental fortitude carried into the NFL. Post-touchdown, you'll often see him quietly grin, maybe flex a bicep, then go right back to business. In a 2022 game against the Minnesota Vikings, Herzs rushed for a key touchdown and threw up a small wave to the crowd before calmly pointing at his offensive line. Critics initially called it understated, but fans caught the significance. Herzs acknowledges the big guys who paved the way. NFL Network's Brian Baldinger once commented that Herzs' minimalistic celebrations mirror his approach to the game: methodical, efficient, and confident. There's power in not overdoing it, especially in a league packed with elaborate choreography. Number 10, Joe Burrow's icy calm. Joe Burrow might have the swagger of a seasoned vet, but his celebrations are surprisingly understated. Nicknamed Joe Cool and Joe Burr, in reference to his calm under pressure, Burrow often opts for a quick finger point, a chest tap, or a subtle grin. During his time at LSU, Burrow's post-touchdown gestures often involve pointing to the sideline, or a subtle wave. The now famous cigar celebration came post-championship, but in-game, he remains stoic. The same is true in Cincinnati. Even in crucial moments, he rarely breaks character. In a 2021 playoff win against the Raiders, Burrow threw a controversial touchdown pass right before stepping out of bounds. As officials sorted the call, Burrow calmly walked back to the sideline, giving only a tiny nod when the touchdown was confirmed. That cool, under-pressure moment became a fan favorite. Some analysts say Burrow's low-key celebrations accentuate his persona. He's the anti-flash quarterback in a flashy league, letting his big plays do the talking. And that contradiction, big performance, minimal celebration, makes him all the more compelling to watch. Number 9, Josh Allen's leap and flex. Josh Allen is a dual-threat powerhouse. Whether he's diving over a defender or launching a 70-yard bomb, the Buffalo Bills QB often punctuates a big touchdown with an exuberant leap and a forceful flex of the arms. Allen played college football at Wyoming, where he was already known for hurdling defenders. According to Bleacher Report, his first major leap in the NFL came against the Minnesota Vikings in 2018. He cleared a linebacker and then offered a swift flex when he landed. His personal I did it moment. Buffalo's fan base, known as the Bills Mafia, embraced Allen's leaping celebrations wholeheartedly. The synergy between player and fans is evident. After a big score, Allen leaps, the crowd roars, and he flexes in defiance of any doubters. NFL Network cameras often capture the entire stadium going wild in sync. In 2021 and 2022, Allen racked up 14 rushing touchdowns. That's a lot of leaps and a lot of flexing. Each time, he cements his status as one of the most physically imposing QBs in the league, and his celebration underscores that unstoppable vibe. Number 8, Joe Montana, the cool head nod. Joe Montana, famously nicknamed Joe Cool, rarely indulged in extravagant celebrations. Instead, he relied on a calm head nod or a brief fist pump as if saying, "We've done this before." Veteran teammates like Jerry Rice noted that Montana's measured demeanor kept everyone steady, even in nail-biting playoff games. Archival 49ers footage from the 80s shows him casually flipping the ball to a referee, then jogging back to the bench with minimal fanfare. Occasionally, he'd share a quick high-five with his lineman. Nothing more. That understated reaction symbolized the Walsh-era 49ers philosophy of execution over flash. Even after game-winning drives, Montana maintained his poised aura. The quiet nod or subtle fist pump sent a message that the result was never in doubt. In a league full of bold characters, Montana's understated approach still stands out as the quintessential act like you've been there move. Number 7, John Elway's fist pump. John Elway is immortalized by the helicopter play in Super Bowl 32, but that wasn't a celebration. It was a mid-air spin after a hit. Post-touchdown, Elway typically gave a powerful fist pump, a gesture as old school as it gets. In the 1980s and 90s, when Elway played for the Denver Broncos, end-zone theatrics were more subdued. According to NFL Films retrospectives, Elway's fist pump was as elaborate as he got. He'd jump slightly, pump his right fist, and often point to a teammate who made a crucial block or catch. The final moments of the 1986 AFC Championship game, dubbed The Drive, saw Elway orchestrate a 98-yard scoring march. After the culminating touchdown, he unleashed a relieved but relatively brief fist pump before heading to the sideline. That single gesture is replayed in countless highlight reels, symbolizing Elway's determination. Though overshadowed by the helicopter moment, the fist pump endured as Elway's signature show of emotion. It was short, direct, and charismatic. Much like the quarterback himself. Decades later, Denver fans still talk about how that pump of the fist made them believe anything was possible. Number 6, Steve Young's pure relief spike. Steve Young had the unenviable task of following in Joe Montana's footsteps for the San Francisco 49ers. When he scored a touchdown, especially in the early years, his celebrations felt like a release of pressure, often culminating in a spike of the football followed by an exasperated grin. Young struggled initially to escape Montana's shadow, but after Montana's departure, Young showcased his mobility and passing precision, leading the Niners to a Super Bowl victory in the 1994 season. That year, his end zone spikes were more forceful than ever, as if he was slamming down all the doubts. In the 1994 NFC Championship game, Young ran for a touchdown and spiked the ball so hard it bounced nearly as high as the crossbar. Footage from NFL Films captures his elated face as teammates mobbed him. It was a turning point. Young was no longer just Montana's successor. He was the team's unquestioned leader. Years later, Young told reporters, "My celebrations were never choreographed. They were more like, thank goodness that worked." Fans appreciated the sincerity. He wasn't dancing, he was exhaling relief, and that honesty endeared him to the Bay Area faithful. Number 5, Tim Tebow's kneel, Tebowing. Few celebrations have transcended sports into pop culture like Tim Tebow's Tebowing. After each touchdown during his time with the Denver Broncos, Tebow knelt on one knee with his fist resting on his forehead, symbolizing prayer and gratitude. In 2011, Tebowing became a viral trend. Pictures flooded social media with athletes and non-athletes alike imitating the pose. According to data cited by ESPN, Google searches for Tebowing spiked by over 1,500% that season. It was a global conversation. Everyone wanted to replicate it. While Tebow insisted it was merely his way of giving thanks, the gesture stirred debate. Some praised his public display of faith. Others felt it was too showy. Regardless, it captured headlines and became the most recognizable QB celebration of that era. Tebow's success was often short-lived, but for a magical stretch in 2011, the Broncos pulled off miraculous comebacks, culminating in a playoff victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tebowing was front and center, And even those who doubted his quarterbacking ability admitted he had a flair for dramatics and an uncanny knack for late-game heroics. Number 4, Patrick Mahomes' arm flex and Chiefs chop. Patrick Mahomes is known for no-look passes and off-platform throws, so it's fitting that his touchdowns often come with a bit of flair. He's been seen flicking the ball into the air nonchalantly after a score, like a magician saying, "Ta-da." Occasionally, he'll point to his receivers, think Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce, almost as if to say, "That was all you?" In high-stakes games, Mahomes brings extra juice to his celebrations. Case in point, the 2019 playoffs, where he dashed for a rushing touchdown against the Tennessee Titans and then spun the ball at his feet before greeting teammates. According to Chiefs post-game interviews, Mahomes says the energy of Arrowhead Stadium fuels these moments. Fans also note the rare occasions he flashes a quick sidearm gun motion, a nod to the baseball background he had. Whatever the move, it's confident yet playful, embodying the cutting-edge style of Kansas City's offense. Number 3, Aaron Rodgers' championship belt. Discount double check. One of the most replayed and parodied celebrations belongs to Aaron Rodgers, the championship belt, later dubbed the discount double check, thanks to a popular State Farm commercial. After a rushing touchdown or a big play, Rodgers would mimic strapping on a wrestling-style title belt. Rodgers first broke out the move around 2010. Teammates like Greg Jennings and Donald Driver egged him on after practice. Rodgers was a big fan of professional wrestling as a kid, so the belt gesture was a playful homage. During the Green Bay Packers' 2010 Super Bowl winning season, the belt celebration soared in popularity. In the NFC Championship game, Rodgers ran for a touchdown and theatrically pulled the imaginary belt across his waist. Fans at Lambeau Field loved it, and highlight reels across ESPN featured it repeatedly. Eventually, Rodgers landed a State Farm endorsement. The ad campaign turned the belt celebration into a mainstream phenomenon, rebranding it as the discount double check. Rodgers occasionally toned it down in subsequent years, but it remains one of the most iconic and imitated QB celebrations. Number 2, Cam Newton's Superman. Cam Newton's Superman celebration is unmistakable and easily one of the most dramatic. After bulldozing his way into the end zone, Newton would pretend to rip open his jersey to reveal the mythical S underneath, a nod to the DC Comics superhero. Newton's physical style, pairing a rocket arm with a linebacker's body, led many to call him a superhuman athlete. The celebration fit perfectly. He'd pretend to expose the chest emblem, flex his arms, and often cap it off with a football giveaway to a lucky kid in the stands. In 2015, Newton's celebrations reached new heights. He led the Carolina Panthers to a 15-1 record and an appearance in Super Bowl 50, earning league MVP honors. His repeated Superman moves became a rallying cry, plastered all over NFL Network's highlight packages. One of the most endearing elements is how Newton gives touchdown balls to children in the stands. The act humanizes the superhero persona. Yes, he's playing Superman, but he's also sharing the moment with the fans. Panther supporters still talk about the thrill of catching a Cam ball on game day. Number 1, Joe Namath's fingerpoint and Broadway Joe swagger. Long before choreographed dances became the norm, Broadway Joe Namath was electrifying fans with every flick of his wrist. While not as visually extravagant as a Superman pose or a championship belt, Namath's post-touchdown finger point toward the stands and his trademark wave exuded pure swagger. It's the granddaddy of modern QB celebrations. During the late 1960s, flamboyance wasn't exactly standard in the NFL, but Namath brought showmanship to the position. When Namath threw a touchdown, he'd often pause, gaze at the crowd, and deliver a confident point. "I told you so." Namath famously guaranteed a Jets victory over the heavily favored Baltimore Colts in Super Bowl III. After leading them to an upset win, that finger point became an icon of brash confidence meeting on-field success. It might be the earliest example of a quarterback turning a single gesture into a brand. While celebrations have evolved with spikes, leaps, and choreographed moves, Namath paved the way for QBs to use swagger as a marketing tool. He was a pioneer of showmanship, a quarterback who made the end zone about more than just scoring points. It was about personality, flair, and entertainment. From Brady's powerhouse spike to Namath's swagger-soaked point, each QB celebration has stamped its mark on football history. Behind every pose, pump, or Superman rip is a story of grit, passion, and unbreakable confidence. If this deep dive fueled your own excitement for the game, be sure to hit subscribe and join us for more high-energy football breakdowns. Stick with us, and you'll never miss a beat on the biggest moments and personalities shaping the NFL. Thanks for watching, and keep celebrating those touchdowns like you own the end zone.